Hi everyone, following on from a video that I did a little while back about me getting out of my, or living underneath that rock, which is Liverpool. I've just popped over to see Simon and record a podcast. We've just done that. And on the way back, I've purposefully picked a route that I don't really know well. So over the next hour or so until we get onto the motorway, I'm just going to have a little drive and say, go somewhere where I don't know. I do know this. We've just been down here with Simon on the podcast. It's quite interesting. We've got a one-way street that didn't used to be. You can tell by the road markings. Still got to be careful just in case there's pedestrians or people walking up. But yeah, it's quite unusual. And say that I'm gonna get out from living underneath that box and get to stuff that I don't actually know, but I sort of know this. What we're gonna do is just show you this. It's a stop junction. Priority is with straight on. And then they've got rid of the giveaway marking across the other side. They've got a giveaway here to the right hand side. Just edge out and have a look. That was a one-way street back up that way. In any case, quite unusual, but what we're going to do, like I said, is just go and take a little bit different route back home. I don't want to sit on the motorway all the way through. So I'm just going to try and say what I see. We've got some flashing lights down the bottom. Looks as though there's a speed limit change, and obviously the people are braking in front of me. Make sure we are down to 30 prior to the sign. Lower gear just to aid with a little bit of engine braking. Just needing to correct the brake just to hold the speed back, or correct with the brake, I should say. Just looking at the distance that they're travelling together, it's quite awkward sometimes when people do travel that close together that they, is anyone going to overtake the black BMW? Is it going to just go for it? No. So I'm just using a little bit more acceleration just to clear a little sooner. Interesting. Is this one going to move? No, happy. A little more acceleration, but not too much, because I just couldn't see whether there was anyone just going to walk out. Still a 30 limit. Now it looks as though it's going to send me back onto the M1 for a little bit. I'll just keep it recording and keep talking. But hopefully the route that I've picked, it's going to send me across the Pennines. Yeah, good. Signal's no benefit to anyone, so I'm not going to bother. Assessing the speed of the traffic on the motorway. I've got plenty of room ahead and behind. People are braking on the motorway. Well, just that single car, lorry. Just drop it in behind him. Just improves my view to where the danger is going to come from. Focus has moved away. It's all good. I did have an opportunity there to maybe even put my foot down and make a little bit more progress. Got 3.4 miles until my exit, so I'm just going to squeeze a little bit and just take my little gap to make a little bit of progress. Helps now that the other Focus has moved away, because my distances were a little close. I was just conscious of that with the van coming up behind. Just going to set my limiter 70 miles an hour exactly. Catching the two on the left. Traffic conditions are pretty light, to be honest. There's not that much about. 2.7 miles until I leave the motorway. We're still catching these on the left hand side comfortably, so it's not an issue. But there's a big gap. Now, quick talk about how you should maybe decide on when to get in. Think of it in time. So I'm assessing the distance to the white SUV in lane 1, not catching the black one. Look how long I'm in this lane from now. Still going to stick at the limited speed, 70 miles an hour. If you're going to be stuck out there for 20 seconds or more, maybe you should be thinking about coming to get back into the left-hand side. And that's not in all situations, that's just middle of the road. In certain scenarios, what you're going to have to do is hold your position, because if you go back in, you're just going to get piled past, and then you're going to have to slow down to get out, which defeats the object. What am I going to do here? I've got 1.3 miles until I am at my junction. With the speed of the BMW SUV and the van further up, I don't think I'm going anywhere. I'm just going to chill here. Now, if you're doing your ADI Part 2, examiners are expecting you to make a little bit more progress. So in that scenario, I think I would have been encouraging my candidates to maybe use lane 2, a little bit of speed, and get up and get past and get back in. But for me personally, it makes very little difference. So it'd be pretty boring if we all had the same ideas about things, but for me, no. No issue about just staying here. Look where I would have been. I would have been in front of that lorry. How long would it take me to get there? Maybe 8 to 10 seconds. Not worth it in my opinion. So we're taking the exit off. Signal timing should be in between 300 and 200 yards. Try not to slow as you exit the motorway. Keep the flow going, because then people don't have to lane change and cause further obstruction. Quick look at the sat-nav says that we're turning right, so I am going to positively keep to the right-hand side, because it does split. A628 we're following. It does say sat-nav that I do need this lane. Let's have a little look at it as we come on. Yep, I think it is this lane only. But then you notice that the lane to my left-hand side, oh no, misread that one. It was M1. So I am in the perfect lane to head all the way around. I wonder whether he thinks I'm just going to try and race him. Anyway, didn't sort of like do anything about the stereotype, did it? Who was signalling for here? Tried to avoid the pothole, couldn't. That was a big one. Signalling, not for people coming out, but for people really around me. So there was no real need to. Why did I signal? It's because honestly, when I was passing the exit before, I couldn't see behind this pillar what exactly the junction was like to the right. So the left signal to come off wasn't needed in the end, but it is what it is. This is exactly the same route that came with Simon before. Funny. Okay, roundabout's quite clear and light. Brake lights down at the bottom where the lorry is. We've got another roundabout, we're going ahead. Use your sat nav to preempt and plan. It's the second exit. Quick look beyond the roundabout as well, where the parked lorry is and the parked van a bit further up. It doesn't seem like there's any issues. View's not brilliant to the right, so I had a little dip down and look over my mirror. Left signal wasn't going to benefit anyone. A bit more successful at avoiding that pothole. 40 limit on the road. Just going to give my windscreen a little bit of a wash. And we've got another roundabout coming up a little bit further up where we were going ahead as well. Why is the lorry turning? Is it just at the roundabout? Nope. It's before that. Interesting little junction with the giveaway there. So straight second exit. We're all good. No one around me. I am going to left signal the vehicles coming out. I'm going to change the speed limit to 50. Hopefully this is the part of the road where we can find something that I don't know. This is the exact same route we took with Simon before. Sod's law, isn't it? Okay. Just assessing people around. What I'm talking about is how people are driving, how people are following. Even make an assessment. This Audi that's just gone past us there with the smoke bellowing out of the back. That for me would be a little bit of an alarm bell ringing, because on how they've maintained their vehicle. So you can and you should be as prejudiced as you can. We've got a little bit of a junction down at the bottom. I'm still going to stay en route. So at the back end of Barnsley, we're going to make our way towards the south end of Manchester. Weather conditions are a little cold, 6 degrees, but I don't think that we'll have poor weather. I think there was a band of poor weather coming in a little bit later on. We've got a speed limit change down at the bottom, 30 coming up. As always, I'll make sure that I am down at 30 prior to the signs. Black one's likely to cross, but it didn't. Anyone else coming out of the petrol station? Can't be seen. Red one as well. We're good. So remember all these things that we always talk about. Have I been seen? Alter your driving accordingly. No one's overtaking me. It's really important to deal with that prior to acceleration. If someone is going to be overtaking you, maybe then you don't accelerate. Brake lights up ahead from the or is it brake lights? No, I don't think it is. They're just quite strong lights from the silver vehicle a bit further up. I have got enough engine revs to go up into fifth, but keeping it in fourth just for a little bit of flexibility going up the hill, although this Focus does give us plenty of low down grunt. We keep it in fourth for the downhill section. So is anyone going to be overtaking me? You can probably see that. And don't just have one check, go, check again, keep going, check again, keep going. So we've got a section of hill. This is exactly what came with Simon before. So I know I've got enough time to skirt past that. A little bit of progress. So was the overtake necessary? Possibly. I don't think that box van is going to be picking up my sort of pace if we've got national speed limit sections a bit further up. This guy in front is a little different. It's doing right there 51. It's too late now anyway. That may have been another one where possibly could have gone past, but it's all okay. Uphill section. See how flexible fifth gear is. Totally fine. .6 miles away from a roundabout. I'm okay with that as well. No issues. It's not about ultimate progress for me. As you can see, quite happy just to trundle behind people. All fine. Something like that. That's my little concern about the advice that's given from IAM, and I'm not going to keep on slagging them off. No chance. Do a great job for road safety, but there are certain things that necessarily agree with. We are good. Should we look for the overtake? Just couldn't quite see enough, and it was a good job as well with the vehicle that came from the opposite direction. Will I compromise any space because I'm looking to do the overtake? The answer is no. Wouldn't be overtaking coming into this anyway. Looking for bigger vehicles. Obviously it says that now with the sign, but looking for vehicles, there is a big one. I'm just going to accommodate. Come on, sir. No problem about using these areas. Those extra markings there are to give people an idea of where the lorries are going to be coming up or down underneath that bridge. So yeah, normal motor vehicles just use the lanes as normal, not an issue. 40 limit seems a little high for me. Sat-nav saying that there's a little bit of a hold up here. Can't see any brake lights across the top. So we're not turning right here, but we are turning right at the traffic lights, which is totally fine. Again, exactly the same route that I came with Simon before. Well, there will be bits further up that I'm sure will be new because we didn't drive all the way back to Liverpool, but just be interested to see what the roads are like when, on what the driving's like when I don't know the roads. I think it sharpens observations as well and just makes sure that you just don't drive on autopilot, sort of like knowing what's going on because you're used to that particular junction or that particular area. Traffic light sequences, sensors, gap, there you go. Very good. White van, it's out, it's totally fine. No movement from the driveways to the left. Across the corner, it's warning us of a bend. Parked white one. We're all good. Nothing going on. 30 limit. Thurlston. Looks as though we're crossing over this river that runs next to us. Didn't see any brake lights from the van that we're following. Doesn't mean there's nothing around there. Nice view all the time around these pillars. Dogs on a lead, it's not a problem. Brake lights. People letting the van out from the road on the right hand side. That often makes sense as well. Not necessarily for vehicles. That might help out. You're alright. The only thing that was on my mind there was van behind. Because I slowed down and didn't actually stop, it then maybe caused the van behind to have to stop. Are you just interfering with someone else's flow just to enable someone else to come out? This is pretty awkward. It's again where we came with Simon before. Let's get out early. Looking down that gap in between. There is a silver car coming. I do think that there's going to be enough room, but I'm going to slow. Assessment was correct. Less space, less speed. I had to go a little closer to the parked vehicles on the left-hand side, so adjust your speed to suit. Not a problem. Interestingly, it's exactly the same route we went with Simon. Did we? Yeah, we mentioned, I think, a van turning there or reversing there. Anyway, it's what it is. There was a couple above there, so I'm just slowing it back down again. We're not robots. We cannot perfectly just keep exactly at the perfect speed all the time. So if you do go a couple above, slow it down. Think about the overtake that I did before. Think of the vehicle that's following us. It's the same one. That again just reiterates my point of how worthwhile overtakes are a lot of the time. People are all fine. Dog's on a lead again. Road bends round to the left-hand side to Manchester. School zone's not out. We're still in between Christmas and New Year. Schools aren't back yet. Doesn't mean there's going to be no kids about. So 40 limit. Is anyone overtaking? Is anyone going to be overtaking? It's warning of horses as well. I'm just going to have a little go to 40 up to the next gear. They've got no issues with people overtaking from the opposite side. Let's see whether the fifth gear is going to be suitable up this stretch. Still no one overtaking. National speed limit section. Is anyone going to be overtaken? I'm just delaying acceleration just until the pedestrian with the dogs is going to be clear. Other person there, so it just reduced and made sure there wasn't going to be any stray dogs. And away we go again. So we've got a bit better road. Says we're turning right at, no it doesn't, it just says there's a bend. I still think it's the same road we came with Simon before. Anyway. Yeah, the road bends round to the right, nice illuminated, bright sign, 150 yards, no one's close behind. Sort everything before I get here. Exactly the same route as we came with Simon. Constantly altering the seating position for best view. Just had to be careful a little bit of the dead ground just down in here. There you go, couldn't see the roadkill. It's just come up with a warning on the dash about temperature. So drive accordingly. The painting on the road, the white markings on the road, warn of a bigger danger. Don't forget, more paint, more problems. All basic stuff. We're coming up to a roundabout. Going ahead, warning of wild animals. Drive accordingly. And I think this is where we went a different direction with Simon. Go after Land Rover Defender. Made sure I arrived at a gap, just making sure I've been seen in a bright green car, but you never know. Warning of cyclists and horses. Drive accordingly. Parking spaces, anyone moving? Doesn't look that way. we're all good. Stretch your legs a little. So yeah, this is the new route. This is the bit that we didn't go with Simon. So we've got 15 miles on here. The sign on the left hand side as I entered this road was probably a little bit of a warning of road closed. I'm sure this road at certain times of year, we do get a little bit of snow, will be closed. I am going to be looking to do an overtake wherever it's possible, if it's safe, legal and worth it, and staying within the speed limit. Vehicle on the left, just looking and checking to see if there's movement. I'm going to tweak my mirror a little bit. Just realised Simon had just chucked it out a touch and I was just having to move my head a little bit more from my seating position. Any movement from the car park area to the left doesn't look that way. All the way up at the top looks pretty clear and flowing. We're doing 56 miles an hour. I'm even going to go into 6th gear. It's warning of ice. I do have my cross climate tyres on still, but can get pretty cold. This is where they would close the road. Do we overtake? I think so. No issues. 60 miles an hour on the dot. It is still a 60 miles an hour limit, even though that there's 2 lanes. It's not a dual carriageway. I'm just going to come back into the left. Instinct was just to push a little more there, but I'm going to show that restraint and make sure I don't break the speed limit. Still catching the lorry. Would be nice to be able to get past this, but it is what it is. Just going to have a look over this little brow before I make my decision. Maybe round a bend. I think I'm okay to go into 2. The road wasn't brilliant there, so you can see exactly what I was talking about there. Just make certain it looked as though it just carried on. There were no prior warnings to the road narrowing. If you don't know this road, which you don't commit until you can see it's clear. Okay, potentially overtake territory. However, I'm doing 56 miles an hour, so therefore personally I don't think it's worth it. I would have to break the speed limit to be able to get past. I'm just going to be aware of this lorry as well, because of the pace that they're travelling at. Don't want to get involved with anything that they're going to have issues with a bit further up. Nice open roads though. I do think I've driven this road the opposite direction the first time I came over to Simon's. There's literally no point in doing an overtake at 57 miles an hour. 55 actual though in this car. Road was coming round from the right. I did see the red car approaching. They're going to look to push out. Nope. Beautiful road. Glad I came back this way. There's a little bit of a sharper bend down at the bottom. Making sure the lorries do have enough room to turn. Road looks wide, but it pinches a little. So just made sure that it wasn't going to be at any point where lorries were going to need to be swinging wide or using a little bit more room. Like this, for example, I'd try and make sure I arrive coming the other way after the lorry. Welcome to Derbyshire. Riders crossing, 150 yards, slippery road surface. Read every single sign as well. Following a lorry like this that's making a fair bit of progress is quite a chilled, easy way of doing things, because they're going to have to be braking and slowing a lot earlier than myself. It was the parked vehicle on the opposite side of the carriageway that I was just watching to see whether there was any going to be any silly stuff with it maybe moving out in front of traffic. And save a little bit of fuel and just coast. And what I mean by that is not declutching, just not pressing anything. I'm going to have to brake for this corner though. Don't want to be catching the lorry up under braking. Nothing I'm going to arrive with should be causing problems. What I mean by that again is the corner. Sort everything prior to the corner, and again balance and drive round. Lorry driver's doing a good job. This one's catching behind a little now. Just saw brake lights just round the corner as well. Inside this vehicle looks as though it's a number of younger lads who's liable to do something a little more stupid. Nothing prejudiced about that either, but think the worst. The brake lights look as though they were just for the downhill section. We've got some parked cars down at the bottom and some wild animals, looks like sheep, up on the hillside. Cycling and walking area, perhaps. Someone's got the bonnet open down there as well. Not going to arrive with anyone. All good. There we go. So it looks as though we've got over the highest bit. I'm just saying that because we saw the barriers coming up and then we've seen them coming down. So I'm suspecting we've gone over the worst bit that's more likely to be closed if there were problems. Just notice the distance that I'm keeping from the lorry as well. What does that do? Well, it actually increases fuel economy, it increases safety, it reduces cognitive load. It's not going to get me there any quicker, but just don't be pressured by perhaps 4 lads in a little car behind. They've dropped off a little bit now, but a couple of times they have just zoomed up a little close. They're doing a good job. Any reason for the overtake? Absolutely not. My ears have just popped. Some nice views. Just don't want to catch under braking, so I've just corrected it as I was gently steering in there as well. Now, a couple of people on the right, parked red vehicle with hazards on the left. Just made sure that there was no issues with that. This is a little more awkward, so I'm going to arrive after these two. I'm just going to slow these two behind. They've created room, thank you. Nothing wrong with that. To arrive at a gap again. Is it a little cold for many motorcyclists out? Possibly. Still doesn't mean there's not going to be any. Stockport's 14 away, Manchester's 16. So that's the length of the video today. That's what we're doing this for. There you go, motorcyclist. Well done, sir. Nice job. So going back to what I was saying just before, and I've just done it slightly there as well. I'm always trying to balance the car prior to the corner, but there are situations where a light, gentle feather of the brake just to hold back or just to take a few more miles an hour off as you're starting to turn in isn't going to upset the car's balance too much, but just be very careful of doing it. Always light and smooth and progressive. It's anything harsh that then causes that instant rotation. Warning of something there. I always think that sign's quite funny. An exclamation mark. Just think of anything. It's just problem. That's all good. Lorry driver's done this road before. Back down to a 50 limit. Some lovely views out in front of us. Balanced car. Police speed check area as well, not that it affects me. Any movement from the Mercedes? No. Nothing else from the car park. Let's change for national speed limit again. That was pretty awkward with the two lorries there. Like I said, I would always be doing my utmost to sort that out, but it looks as though there's a fair bit of experience from the lorry driver that I'm following as well. He's actually, I'm not closing him down. I'm not trying to, but I'm making some reasonable progress. And so are they. I call them a he, could very well be female. When I say stuff like that, he means she means he. And that's a bit sad that we have to say that nowadays. However, I think you understand where I'm coming from. Sharper bend, we've got a little bit more of a queue up ahead. Time to sit back and survey. Lorry driver cut the corner a little bit there. Some more warning of ice. Just saw the little bit of a splash there from one of the vehicles, so I'm always aware that those oncoming vehicles may need to move round something. Don't forget, being further back gives us these views. It's not going to hold you up any. Just give yourself that space to see and to sometimes accelerate. It's being too close, even on the motorway, that causes phantom braking events. And it only generally takes one or two drivers doing what I'm doing to then stop that phantom braking becoming a traffic jam. Did you know that as well? There's a cracking video that I saw a little while back just about exactly that. I'll see whether I can dig it out and leave a link in the description. Need a little bit more of a wipe of a windscreen. So yeah, effectively being the one that holds a little more distance and then doesn't have to react with the brakes in the same manner as everyone else smooths the traffic further back and stops it becoming a more serious hold-up. Cracking video it was. You may have seen it. I think I actually did get sent it by one of my viewers as well. Okay. Not much going on. We've got a steady convoy. Uphill section a little bit now. Brake lights from further up. Warning of a double bend. Any narrowings for the lorry mirrors? No. Appreciate that as well. Being further back, you may just stop yourself being involved in a piece of lorry mirror getting dropped on your car. My cross climate tyres have been really reassuring throughout the last probably getting on for 18 months or so. They've been very strong. There's plenty of wear or tread left in them. Would I have them again? Yeah, absolutely. They've lasted longer than the original tyres that came with the car as well. It's in these sort of conditions, 5 degrees, where they do come into their own. Bought out a new model, if you like, Cross Climate 3s, I think, and I think there's a 3 Sport. May very well be something that I'll put on my Volvo when I get it as well. We'll see. So we're back into a little bit more built up area. Looks as though we're coming down into a little bit of a say a village, a town, don't know, not sure what it is. We've got a 30 limit coming up now as well. So have a little look at a few of the things that I have to encounter over the next little bit, but as soon as I get to a motorway, we are finishing the video. It's not a motorway one, known at the crossing. That's a toucan crossing as well. Do you know how you can tell? It's dead simple. Picture of a person and a bike on it. Two can cross. Cyclists on that crossing do not have to dismount. White vehicle to the left. Now, there, little bit of advice. We don't want to get too close. I'm correcting the speed even now. However, try not to be at a distance where that distance could invite someone. If you are, however, be conscious of that distance that could be an invite and don't close the space down. Just be ready to deal with it if that vehicle is going to emerge. So you can do a lot with your following distances. I've mentioned that a fair bit already in today's video, that my view here is allowing me to see the next crossing area down to the left hand side of the lorry. Don't get too close in. Blue one, I just checked and just kept to the right hand side to increase the sort of like earliness of when I could see that driver and they could see me. But yeah, manage space, really important. Alter what you're doing much more if you don't. If you're just, I'm sticking to the speed limit, it's not a good way to drive. There's stuff that you can do constantly to reduce risk. No one reversing out. It's all good. Brake lights coming on now. Noticed there when I saw the brake lights on the left hand bend, instantly didn't check the interior mirror, instantly came across this one on the left hand side. This is a little grumble about driving instructors who I hear constantly saying, oh, anything to left, centre left, anything to right, centre right. Excuse me. Not always. When you're on a left bend, checking your centre mirror blocks your view of the Mercedes that was following behind, and I can only see it in that one. So appreciate what you're doing and check appropriate mirrors for what you need to take in and what you need to assess. This one can still see the Mercedes behind me, but the same could be said on this right hand bend. I'm going to honestly see whether I can see the Mercedes in my centre mirror as I'm coming round. Yes, I can, but I get a little bit better view here to my right. Okay, what did I say about narrowings? Honestly, I pay these people sometimes. Totally fine for me to continue. It's only the width of the lorry that's the issue there. It's great when that happens. That's absolutely brilliant. Talk about it earlier on, and then it goes and happens in front of me. All good. Looks as though we've got a little bit of a queue. I'm going to bear with it just for a little bit, just to see what's going on here. Talk about following distance, and hopefully what I've just mentioned there about managing space. you should be doing the same at traffic lights as well. When you're coming up to the danger zone, in other words, where if the lights changed it would cause you a problem, do not be closing the space down, be increasing. But if you're before that and you've got a big gap, by all means, oh, McLaren, nice. Sorry, I'm still a car nut at heart. But yeah, if you're further away from that, you may very well be able to keep up with the flow a little, to then enable you not to be in that area where the traffic light sensors think, oh, no one's coming, change. So there's certain bits that you can do, but where risk increases, do not be increasing speed. Just had a little look at the Golf there as well, because it had orange lights at the front. I don't think I'm going to bother going until I can move. I was just just watching every car come the opposite direction, just make sure they've not got a signal on, because I'd let them flow and let them clear. So this is what I'm talking about. I could catch a little, but I don't want to because I'm close enough to the lorry. But if these lights could change, I don't want to be increasing at that sort of area. I know it was only a crossing, it's not going to change until someone presses the button. There's 2 lanes to go ahead. Do I use all of the road space here? Don't think so. I think I would be popping over the line. It's not a problem if someone else does it for me though. So notice, even seeing the worn out markings there, you're anticipating not potential problems, but what other people are doing or could be doing. I think that's good. It's good use of the road. Just wouldn't really do it with vehicles coming the other way, especially with this big wagon and the wagon coming the other way. However, it's not an issue. Use all the road space. So I think we've got about 1.3 miles until we're at the area where we go onto the motorway, by the looks of it. So I'll keep going for now. Don't know this area. I think I did, like I said, drive through when I came to Simon's last time, but the opposite way. But from this direction, no. Anyone else pushing down? You're all right. Sound. Now you're going to turn left now. Nope. You're all right. Fine. Just mention that with Simon as well. I don't mind people using hazards as a way of saying thank you quickly like that. It's not the correct use for them, but as long as it's not going to be misleading, it's not a problem. Do we overtake here? It's 30 limit, so my instinct would be to say no. I'm going to use that other lane to allow anyone else to overtake if they really want to. Same, we've got a little bit of a hold up with traffic on the next section of road. Just managing my speed. Are there 2 lanes going ahead? Does the right lane go behind this one? Is this blue one to my right going to wish to come in? I'm just going to leave them an opportunity. No, they're not. So leaving an opportunity there and holding back allowed me to see their signal as well. I was just watching the Golf there as well, just because I didn't know for certain whether they were going to just dive in. They didn't have a right signal. So even though it's a right turning lane only, there's something, hopefully, which will convince people to not go with, it's a right turning lane only, people don't need to know where I'm going. No. It would have reinforced where that Golf was going and gave me a little bit of solace knowing that it's probably not going to come out, or less chance. It's not black and white like that. Okay. All good. Traffic light sensors. Traffic light sensors. Don't know when these sequences going to change? There's a gap. Is it pedestrian time, or is it someone else? It's someone else. There you go. So you don't have to know the particular junction to work out from the information about the sensors what could happen. Brake lights up ahead, petrol station. I've still got 190 miles left in my tank, so we're quite okay. What am I thinking here? I'm thinking people walking out from behind the queue, the opposite side. Space again. Notice my space. And this is what I was saying before with the van. Bit of a shame really, because I probably could have used the van as an example, but someone let them out. And me having a bigger space and altering what I do depending on the oncoming traffic, and if there's a space for them, if there's a space in the oncoming, may very well leave a space for the vehicle to the left-hand side. I think that's a nice bit of work. I just wouldn't have done it with a flash, but not a big deal. Okay, looks as though we're coming up onto the motorway, so I'm going to wrap that up. Hopefully there's a few little bits there. Managing space and tweaking space and not arriving at pinch points with people. Keep safe. I'll see you soon.